where did the name Simply Sweet Pea come from? As a kid, my nickname was Sweet Pea. And so I was thinking of what we wanted to name this little children's line. And I was like, something from my childhood would be cool. Welcome to Life Unleashed,
the podcast all about creating the best life for you and your furry best friend.
If you're a dog mom on the go, juggling life, work, and the endless joys of being a dog parent, then you're in the right place. I'm Dani.
And I'm Nick.
And together with the incredible dog mom community from Tails Up Pup, we're here to share advice, stories, and the obsession we have over the love for our dogs.
Get ready to laugh, learn, and lean on each other because life with your dog just got even more awesome.
Welcome back to the Life Unleashed podcast. Today we wanted to talk about our new adventure, our new old adventure.
Can we take a moment to talk about our new location?
Yes.
For those of you guys listening, we are filming in our new house, new podcast studio. So that's very exciting.
Different look. Nick got some books behind him. For whatever reason, so many books have orange spines. I don't know why, and I don't like it. I asked Nick if we could rearrange and have no orange behind him, but that's like nearly impossible because there's so many.
I'm guessing the orange spine catches people's eye at the bookstore.
Yeah, but then look how many. That's not original anymore. They need to choose lime green. Look, there's no lime green.
Yeah.
There's one.
That's interesting.
Anyways, we really have been loving the house. We are going to do an official new office tour once everything is in order. Everything is in a place now, but we haven't hung anything on the walls really. So I feel like we have a few more things before we film our office tour.
Yeah, I feel like we're probably 95% there.
Yeah, we're very close. We're full swing working, doing all the things, and feels nice to be settled in. We mounted our TV in the living room, so we feel like everything is coming together.
Moving literally is so much work, and I feel like I never want to do it again. And we got it doubly bad because we moved doubly bad. Yeah, it was a double whammy for us because we had to move our house, and then we had to move our office. And our office,
we were pregnant.
You were pregnant. Our office was pretty much as big. 2,000 square feet. So that's the size of our old house, actually bigger than our old house.
So we were moving two houses.
But
we did it.
We did it somehow.
And every person we talked to says they've never seen someone move and get settled so fast.
And not only did we do all the moving, but we had to do that renovation in the basement and get everything painted and situated on top of getting all the orders out. I don't know how we
are very much people who don't like chaos. So we want all of our things to be in its place. We don't want boxes. So we just grinded till we couldn't grind anymore. And we were exhausted for 2 weeks.
I'm still recovering, I think.
Yeah, he had to sleep in today even because he's still tired. But every day there's still things to be done, but we're nearing the light at the end of the tunnel. So that's a great feeling. I also was telling my mom how funny it is. You would think that I would be bugging Nick to hang all the things on the wall, but really Nick is the one bugging me. He's like, I just want it to feel like a home, get everything on the walls. I actually hate putting holes in walls. So I just feel like then to fix the hole, you basically have to paint the whole wall to make it look good again. And that is sad, but we didn't paint the rooms when we moved in. So they already have holes in it. So it's a little easier for me to overcome that thing that I have.
I don't know if you guys are this way, but if I'm living in clutter, then it feels like my mind is cluttered, if that makes sense. So I'm definitely the type of person that I need things to have their place to feel like I have a clear mind and, can actually, think properly.
Yeah, I agree. Chaos in life creates chaos in your heart and brain.
Yeah, that's quote that. Okay, today we are talking all about the new journey of Simply Sweet Pea, which for those of you that don't know is Tails Up Pup's sister brand. This is something that actually started, correct me if I'm wrong, back in 2019.
Yeah, we were still in our basement when we started Simply Sweet Pea, and now we have brought it back 2024. We announced we were bringing it back before we knew we were pregnant, but we did know that we were trying and we're hopeful that we would be pregnant soon. And Ensley was pregnant and having her baby, and so we were like, okay, we feel confident that now is the time to bring it back. It was very short-lived in 2019.
Yeah, so we really had started because we had excess fabric. Is that right?
So Simply Sweet Pea started because we create dog bandanas at Tails Up Pup, and we were looking for ways to utilize every piece of scrap that we possibly could. So we were creating matching scrunchies and hair ties for for the adults for those dog bandanas to coordinate for a cute photo, but still there were even smaller pieces. And I was like, how can we create something out of everything? And so
we need something baby size.
We need something super tiny. So I started making baby bows, headbands, and that was really like the heart of what Simply Sweet Pea started as. And I mean, we quickly realized we don't have time to make every single thing.
Well, at this time, Tails Up Pup really started to take off and to get really busy. So it's like, oh my gosh, we're trying to make all the dog bandanas, make all the stuff with Tails Up Pup, trying to make these items for Simply Sweet Pea as well. And it was, the orders were coming in for Tails Up Pup, and Simply Sweet Pea really hadn't gotten off the ground yet. And so
we just didn't have time to put into marketing, creating content, all of that stuff.
Well, speaking of the marketing and content part of that, we realized like, oh, we have a dog model, but we don't have a baby model. And so we actually had a friend or whatever that was like, you know, hey, yeah, I would love to bring my kid over and she can kind of model for you guys. But that was, you know,
we had a few friends who helped us out.
Yeah, you can't do that all the time and that be all of your marketing.
Yeah, it was really, really hard. So we didn't have many photos to use after that. And it was something that got put on the back burner for lack of content, lack of marketing, and lack of time to create those new things. And we kept it like out there for a while, but eventually we just completely shut it off because we just didn't have the time.
But we always knew that at some point we wanted to bring it back, particularly when we were interested in starting to have kids.
I have two fun stories. Where did the name Simply Sweet Pea come from? As a kid, my nickname was Sweet Pea. My dad specifically called me that, but I just have great memories of being called Sweet Pea. And so I was thinking of what we wanted to name this little children's line, and I was like, something from my childhood would be cool. So I don't know how Simply ended up in front of it. I wanted something to go with Sweet Pea, and it just kind of flowed. So that's where we got our name. And the other story is, once I came up with it, obviously step one was making sure the website was available, and it was. So I was like, okay, great. All the boxes checked. But little did we know, when we came to create the Instagram, the Instagram handle Simply Sweet Pea was already taken. And yes, you can like add numbers or do something else, but I really wanted it. And when I looked into who had it, it was just a girl who was a mom. And I don't know why she chose that as her name, but that was her Instagram name just for her personal page,
like her life.
Yeah. So I just figured I could reach out and see. And so I asked her, like, is there any way we could swap and I could have Simply Sweet Pea? And she said yes. All she asked for in exchange were for some dog bandanas for her dog. So that is how we obtained at Simply Sweet Pea on Instagram.
I forgot that entire story. That is so epic.
Yes.
She could have been like, give me the money. And no, she just said,
I had told Nick, I'm like, let's ask. She probably will ask for money. We can debate whether we think it's worth it or not. And then she asked for some dog bandanas. And so I'm sure eventually she looked and she's like, that girl begged for this and she's not even using it. But now we're back better than ever. So yes, kicked it back for 2024, bringing it back. And in the past 30 days, it has completely skyrocketed. So when we brought back Simply Sweet Pea, we had to think about what do we want to be? We still don't truly have time to make anything else. Dog bandana making and embroidery consumes our life, and we don't have any more hours in the day to make things. But we were like, you know, hand making baby bows is very time consuming, especially for the cost. Like the amount that you can charge for a bow isn't enough to make it worth it for us. So what could we do with our time, and what could we do with the resources that we have available? Embroidery for children. So that's what we decided to do. So when you buy an embroidery machine, isn't it over $20,000?
The 10 needles were right around $20,000.
$20,000. So we
got a deal because we were buying them. We bought 3 machines.
But close to $60,000 of investment just in machines alone. So how do you pay those off? By selling things that are embroidered. And we obviously do that with Tails Up Pup, but you can make it back faster and utilize what you have with doing another stream of.
Well,
things.
And when we had started Simply Sweet Pea at the beginning, and we weren't even doing any embroidery at all. That wasn't even in the realm. And with Tails Up Pup, we learned, wow, personalized embroidered items do really well. It kind of like, I guess, serves a very specific like niche out there. And I'm sure that for kids, I mean, obviously everyone knows that embroidered items for kids is a big thing, but clothing, it was like, that kind of follows the line of what we were doing in Tails Up Pup, and we're just using the machinery, the expertise, all of that stuff to say, all right, let's try that playbook for kids stuff.
And all I did was create a few items for our friends so that I could have some samples to photograph. And I listed them. We brought the website back. We actually transferred platforms because when we started Tails Up Pup and Simply Sweet Pea, we were on Squarespace. We converted over to Shopify. So I said, let's bring Simply Sweet Pea over to Shopify, have everything together. We know it. We love it. And so we kicked the website back and we created some photos with these items and listed them. But the thing that has been altering for the business right now has been our personalized Easter t-shirt. We created that. Obviously, I think it's so cute because I picked the cutest colors, and you can choose pink or blue, and a lot of people have siblings, so they want them to coordinate, and it just seemed like it was like the perfect thing. People wanted a cute photo op for their kids for Easter. Getting kids in those big puffy dresses is impossible, so why not do a cute comfy t-shirt? And it has really skyrocketed Simply Sweet Pea and brought us a ton of sales since bringing it back.
So let me ask you this. How much do you think the experience and everything from all the stuff you've done and learned with Tails Up Pup has led to the skyrocketing of Simply Sweet Pea?
That's a good question. I feel like it has definitely helped. I have an eye for what people like, and I also just have experience in embroidery now of knowing how my machines work. And so like at first I was trying to embroider. We started off, the main product we started Simply Sweet Pea off this year was the personalized sweatshirts, which was the first thing to really take off. But I was figuring out how to hoop these for the machine, and I was just struggling time after time, and I'm like, okay, we need new hoops. We need the right size hoop. I was trying to make it work with what I had. I'm like, if these are selling, so let's invest in some hoops that are the right size, because obviously the ones we have fit adult shirts and not kid shirts. So we finally said, let's invest in some new, what is that?
The right tool for the job.
The right tool for the job. And that has really helped expedite, get us a lot more things done in a day. And obviously the marketing aspect of knowing that the more content you put out, the more people will see it, more people will buy and fall in love with your brand. So I think just passed 1,300 followers. And really, we've only been going for 2 months? Yeah, we started in 2019, but we barely had any followers. We had 100.
Yeah, it's really cool how you get to see this overlap and experience. You're almost able to 100% plug all the things that you learned in building Tails Up Pup right into Simply Sweet Pea. Yes, it's a different product, but you're using all that same experience and knowledge to help it grow.
The biggest request, I guess, that we're getting right now from posting on Tails Up Pup about Simply Sweet Pea is matching things for kids and dogs. Oh. And so that's something that we're working on. But the hardest thing for me is figuring out which website to put it on. So business-wise, Tails Up Pup and Simply Sweet Pea are separate to the public eye. They're two different websites. You have to check out on two different websites. And it looks like they are two different brands, but on the back end in our business realm, they are actually one and the same. So Simply Sweet Pea is just a subset of Tails Up Pup because we're using the same materials and machinery. It all is one company technically, but there's no way for a customer to check out at the same time. So
it's kind of like what you said, Gap, Banana Republic, all that stuff.
Yeah, I like how you can check out from one website with them.
Right.
And in the grand scheme,
maybe we'll get there.
But that costs a lot of money to do. So for now, we are not doing that. But we have some applique where we use the Gulf Coast plaid, the blooming in full bloom. So you can get an applique onesie and match your dog bandana, but you would just have to buy it on both websites. And honestly, like, yes, we could create a web listing on Simply Sweet Pea for like a combo pack, but then we have to track inventory in a totally different way, and we would definitely do a bad job at it. So we're not doing it right now, but it's definitely in the works. And then the other thing that I'm working on is sweatshirts for moms, because obviously we do lots of dog mom sweatshirts, but now I'm like, okay, let's do some on Simply Sweet Pea for the moms.
Moms love to match / coordinate with their kids,
or even just wear their kid's name on it. You know, it doesn't even have to match.
I think it's so cute when like the moms have like the Nikes or whatever, and the kids have the matching Nikes. That's so cute.
That's definitely going to be us.
Okay, next question that I have for you. When starting Tails Up Pup, I really got this feeling, maybe this is hindsight talking, but I really got this feeling that bandanas were kind of an untapped market, or certainly under tapped. Like it was kind of like a new up and coming thing. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. At the time, there obviously were people paving the way for us. Like we weren't the first ones to do it, but the market now is a lot more saturated than it was 6 years ago.
So do you think that embroidery for kids falls in that same category, or what do you think?
Specifically like what we're doing. So I believe if you go to like Zara Kids and stuff, you can buy a few of their sweatshirts and get your kid's name embroidered on it, but it isn't like, it's customized in that it has your kid's name on it, but you didn't get to pick the font or the thread color. And I could be wrong because I don't shop these kid things, but there's very few big brands that do it. And then on the small scale, there really aren't a ton. It's a lot of like moms like who got a machine to do for their kids, and they'll like add a few things to Etsy here and there, but there aren't a ton of like brands who are customizing in the realm that we are with these specific designs and options. And I just think that so far I haven't found a ton of companies that are doing exactly what we're doing. And I think that we'll look back and be like, wow, like, yeah, it's a lot more saturated 5 years from now than it is. But the other thing that we know that we've learned from Tails Up Pup and Simply Sweet Pea is that the reason that big companies don't do it is because it takes so much time. And like, if we were to go on Shark Tank, the first thing they're going to say is you can't scale to the moon by this, you know, like you can't expedite things very much.
Yeah. Very, very hard to scale like a personalized item. They're literally one-offs.
But if you look back at like where Tails Up Pup was 3 years ago, we had a much bigger team. We were trying to scale and grow, and we really have had to reevaluate and say, you know, to keep our core values, to do the things we want to do, which are these custom, personalized, small boutique things, we don't need a big team. That's actually a lot harder for us. We need a small team. We, you know, maybe we'll sell less items, but we're going to be doing what we are set out to do, which is these small custom boutique items that you can't find anywhere else.
Yeah, our DNA is not trying to be a large, big company. We're trying to be a small company that sticks to those values of like making the unique custom things.
Yeah, I think both Tails Up Pup and Simply Sweet Pea have the same values, the same goals at the end of the day.
So how do you anticipate Simply Sweet Pea evolving over time as our kid is born?
I think it will become a lot easier because we will have a built-in model. We will have someone to make samples for, and one thing about me is like I hate wasting things. So right now I'm trying to just give things to people we know at least with their kid's name on it. But still it's very hard to have the right size and the right name and the right thing. So like when we have our own kids, we'll be able to utilize the items a lot more and create more content around it. So I think it will be easier in that aspect.
So like very similar to Tails Up Pup and how it was obviously a lot easier that we had our own dogs and things like that.
Yeah, and also just like even talking about like Zara not shopping at these other kids' stores, like as I'm the shopper, I'm the mom, like knowing what other stores have, I think that will allow me to understand the market better. And then also like just, you know, when you love your kid and the interest that your kid has, then you can come up with new ideas. So like if our kid's really into baseball, like right now, you and I know nothing about baseball. I don't even know when baseball season is really. So that would like give me a new insight on, oh, let's create this item around this because there's plenty of kids who love baseball. You know, that's just a stupid example, but interest that your kid has will allow you to have that interest. And then I'll have new ideas that I don't have right now as someone who is just a 29-year-old girl with no kid.
Yeah, I feel like it's really hard for any industry, no matter literally what it is. If you're kind of like an outsider and don't really know much about the industry, how can you make products that speak to like a customer in that industry?
I really pride ourselves on the quality of the garments that we have at Simply Sweet Pea too. They're very soft. They're not like, I want to say thick, but like for a t-shirt, they're just a really nice quality. The sweatshirts are so nice, but I don't know how they fit on a kid until I see a customer wear them and even still, like if you have one kid, everything's going to fit differently, but I just have no grasp on that concept right now because I don't have the kid to use them.
Well, just like with the bandanas, it's like when we have 2 dogs, we can use all the products. We test them all with Holly and Gracie before we're ever considering like selling something.
One thing that I think we could get into right now, I'm like, absolutely no, but you just never know. And I could see how this would fit in is having other products other than embroidered tops that go with the brand, like a pacifier or a rattle. Like if it had to fit in with our values or just fit in with the brand, like you could end up, the sky's the limit. You could have so many different things, but we have learned to not think you can do it all,
No, that's really true. I feel like the dog world is huge. It's like we've tried lots of different things for dogs, and some of the stuff works and some of the stuff doesn't. We're not trying to sell literally any product for dogs in the world.
Right.
We're sticking to our core things, and I think Simply Sweet Pea probably will be the same type of thing.
Another fascinating thing that I've learned is how many moms struggle to find cute boy clothes. It seems like there's cute girl clothes almost everywhere, but the boy moms all say how much they struggle. So we have really leaned into that as well to allow us to thrive and, having that blue option for the Easter shirt and having like specific blue options or like boy geared items has really helped us provide to those people who are, really wanting that thing for their boy, but they can't find it.
So the boy moms out there are not underserved.
Right.
They need the cute stuff and they want it.
They cute things.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like men, I think in general, probably get a little bit of the short end of the stick, probably as adults because we're not out there buying as much clothing anyways. But, I feel like girls got all the crazy cool options and the men don't have quite as many.
I've also learned a fun little realization, I guess. Like we've only made probably like 300 or so items so far, but already I've found a pattern that certain moms or dads who are ordering from us have a certain taste in their kid's name. So obviously we know there's different styles. If you like a traditional name, a unique name, like there's lots of different name styles. But based on the name that you pick your kid also goes hand in hand with the item that you choose from our shop. Like if you have a kid named certain thing, like you're more likely to choose the blue plaid applique.
Interesting. So like maybe not quite. You feel like there's a pattern here, not just simple coincidence.
Yeah, it's like certain styles definitely go from name to item. Because like right now a huge name is Margot. And so I've very much noticed we have tons of girl options, but if you have a Margot, you're going to buy the row of flowers top because almost every Margot has chosen that top.
That is interesting. I wonder what's going on there. Is that some like psychology that, parents that are want to name their kid this or more like, because we have enough designs to choose from that they could have picked something else.
Right. And like William, there's a lot of Williams who choose the airplane sweatshirt and there were other options, but Williams all chose that item. So I think that's just a funny thing. Fun fact about me is I am very well aware of things that I've made, who I've shipped them to. I'm very good. My brain has like a filing cabinet of knowing like, okay, these orders have been made. These are going out. And then I started getting tripped up. I was like, I've already made this. Why is it here again? And then I would go back and look and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a pattern.
That's interesting. Did you notice any of that like in the dog world?
Yes, but in the dog world, I feel like there are less names. Like there's so many Abby's, Ellie's, like so many people use the same name.
So no matter what, a pattern is going to be there because it's just fewer names.
Yeah, I just feel like now more than ever, people are trying to name their kids unique things. And it's also been really fun to see how unique names become not unique as they become more popular. And like it somewhat almost sways us as we're choosing our baby's name. It's like, okay, we loved the name Charlotte, and I know based on the charts that Charlotte has skyrocketed and become like very popular. But even in how few items that we have sold, how many Charlottes we have made, it's insane. It's like, do you really want your kid to be one of 10 Charlottes in their grade? I don't know. And if you love a name, I think you should choose it. But it definitely is something that has swayed us a little bit.
So as you're about to become a mom in 20 weeks, we're halfway. As you're about to become a mom in 20 weeks, what is your dream for Simply Sweet Pea and like with our own kid?
I don't know. That's a hard question. I feel like my dream, like work-wise, is to have like a very great flow, which is why we moved here. So I can have my baby napping and work at the same time, and like also spend quality time with my kid and have a great work-life balance in that aspect. In the business realm, it would be so cool to like have their friends like also want our items, like have the cool shop in town. And like when they go to school, the kids be like, oh, where'd you get that? I want one. Like, I feel like that would be a cool thing.
Well, I really feel like the reason I was kind of asking that question is with the bandanas and all the stuff that we've done with the dogs, a lot of the products are centered around actually like building a better relationship like with you and your dog, right? And so I feel like for your kid, it's like when you're getting your kid like personalized items or making them something like, just for them, you feel like you're kind of, I don't know, like increasing that bond with your kid. It's just like Definitely. That additional way of like, I don't know, showing like that extra like above and beyond of like love, like getting you something personalized.
And it's creating those lasting memories because I look back at my photos from when I was 4 years old with the Easter Bunny, and you're going to look back and you're always going to see that shirt wearing our item, and it's going to have a special place in your heart of having these good memories, or possibly bad if you're scared of the Easter Bunny, but like those funny pictures of the kids who are scared of Santa and that type of stuff. I feel like we will get to be a part of these memories that last forever.
Yeah, I guess that's what I was really getting at is like we love, and one of our favorite parts for Tails Up Pup is being part of like the engagement, the wedding, the birthday celebration,
Christmas cards. That's going to be really fun.
All these things, whatever. And like for Simply Sweet Pea, is that kind of like your dream as well to, with our kid, obviously, but as well as like all the other customers out there that are shopping at Simply Sweet Pea to be part of that.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really cool to see.
It's also been cool to see the people from the Tails Up Pup community. Most people that are our generation start with dogs, then have kids. And a lot of people have delayed having kids because of their dogs. We have talked about that on podcast as well. But it's been cool to see the people who started as Tails Up Pup customers, the love for their dog, spend all their money on their dog, then have their baby, and now they're coming to purchase something from Simply Sweet Pea for their baby, and it's just like come full circle.
Do you think this was the natural evolution of what was going to happen for us, moving from dog being our kids to and having a company around that to now actually having a real kid and a company around that?
Yeah, because we are the quintessential millennial. Like we are what the news is saying. So then of course like we're the domino effect of like, you have to have a brand that you believe in and that you are passionate about. And so like it's what we are truly living is what we are doing. So it just made sense for us to do this. And there's so many people like us.
It's kind of funny because now that we're this far along in the journey, you look back and have the hindsight of all of that, and it's like, oh, makes total sense. But could we have predicted this from the beginning? I don't know. I mean, the news kind of was talking about that in 2018 when we were starting, but I don't know. Could we have predicted that this was going to be the natural evolution for us?
You can't really predict anything, but I mean, we did try to start this in 2019, so I guess we kind of knew.
Yeah, we we knew what we wanted to eventually have.
Yeah.
And now it's happening.
It's crazy.
So what do you think Simply Sweet Pea is going to look like a year from now, Dani? Your favorite question.
I mean, it's just so hard because there's so many unknowns and you never know what each day is going to entail but we do know that we are having fun with it. We know that we're having a baby and we hope that it continues to grow because we're going to put in the time and effort it takes to grow it now. We are ready to take it on. That's why we brought it back, and we're excited to grow our family and we want to be a part of other people's journey as well. So I think that it's going to be a big part of our life, and it's going to take a little bit of a challenge almost to figure out the balance from now until the next few months because we're so used to having all of our time into Tails Up Pup. But over time, we have really learned to expedite our tasks.
Processes, yeah.
Our process. So we now make bandanas Monday, Wednesday, Friday. On Tuesday, Thursday, we're not making bandanas. And so we're embroidering almost every day, but you can start the machines and do a different task. So we are really much learning how to balance it all and how we're going to fit everything. So we're not taking a back step on Tails Up Pup. We're just adding something else in right now. And right now we're able to manage it all because we've just learned a better flow for us.
Yeah, I really wonder what that's going to look like with the kid. There's no way to know until they're here.
Yeah. I think our life is going to look so different than anyone that I know. I can't look at one person and be like, oh yeah, they're paving the way. I know I mentioned our friend Brittany at Zaley Designs. She is the most accurate, I feel that I look towards and say, okay, that's what my life would look like. But her husband still has a full-time job that isn't working with her. And so for Nick and I, we full-time work together. We're going to full-time parent together. And so figuring out that balance and what that looks like we're having to pave our own path, but we have a few people that we can look at for guidance, which is nice.
Well, I know that I'm excited about the future and what's going to, be coming down the pipe in the next, 6 months to a year. It's going to be very different. I'm excited for the change. And it's kind of just cool that we get to have a business that's going to be, associated with the baby.
Yeah. I feel like there's so much unknown still and so much to evolve and happen, but you just take it one step at a time and you figure it out as you go. So I'm very excited, a little nervous, and we're just going to see what 2024 has in store because by the end of the year, we will have a baby. And life will just be so different.
Well, this was a really fun episode. Do you have any other things about Simply Sweet Pea that you want to share right now?
It just has inspired me for a different podcast topic of talking fully about our different revenue streams and how we thrive as small business owners. So if that interests you, let us know and maybe we'll do a podcast topic on that. I always find it fascinating to see how people make money and pay their bills. So
yeah, we got a lot of good feedback on the other small business podcast that we did. So.
Yeah. And if you ever have any other topics, send me a DM, let me know. Thank you guys so much for listening. Don't forget to give us a 5-star review or a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah, those help out so much, honestly.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye. Bye.